Om. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Vivek Chudamani and today we are starting from verse 502. In the last verse he said, Name dehena sambandho meghe neva vihayasaha ata kuto me tad dharma jagrat swapna sushuptayaha. As the clouds have got no relationship with the space, so too I have no relationship with the gross body, subtle body or causal body. Therefore the attributes of this body, such as the waking, dream and sleep, how can they be mine? I am merely as a witness, I am the illuminator. Now today, the next verse 502, Upadhi उपाधिरायाति स एव गच्छति उपाधिरायाति स एव गच्छति स एव कर्माणि करोति भुङ्क्ते स एव कर्माणि करोति भुङ्क्ते स एव जीर्यन् म्रियते सदाहं स एव जीर्यन्म्रियते सदाहं कुलाद्रिवन्निश्चल एव संस्थितः कुलाद्रिवन्निश्चल एव संस्थितः. He says the conditioning, the gross body, etc. come and goes. It alone does all the activities of karma, and when the old age comes, dies away. I am like the top of the mountain, eternal, immovable indeed. Now, when we approach these verses, this whole collection of verses, which is coming out of the mouth of this seeker who has come to be established in the self, and then he is singing about his experience, because the mind is singing naturally. The self cannot be singing. Self doesn't do anything. So when we are listening to these verses, be subjective. We are talking about that seeker is you. This is your true status. This is your true natural state even at this moment. And what is that? The conditioning of the body comes and goes. Isn't it true? From childhood till now, the child body came and went and gave way to teenage body. Then teenage body came and went and gave way to middle age, the youthful body. The youth body went and then the middle age body, and then eventually this middle age body will also go and the old age body will come. See? And then eventually it will go out of existence. So because the childhood body has come and gone, or teenage body has come and gone, have you come and gone? No. Then who are you? If throughout your life you have been observing that these things have taken place, then you have not come and gone. Only the equipment through which life is functioning, that has come and gone. It alone does all the activities of karma, and when old age comes, dies away. So, all the activity is the natural phenomena of that which is other than the self. From where we are as seeker, when we take this world to be real, from here, if when the scriptures tell us everything that is other than the self, what is the other than the self? Self is changeless, everything else is changing. So accept yourself to be the changeless self. Don't accept yourself to be the changing one and keep justifying that. Our approach to the scriptures or these words of Vivek Chudamani should be not, oh, but, no, but. If the student is saying that is his experience, in Amrit Anubhav, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying that is his experience, then we have, our approach towards this topic should be such that how can I reciprocate, or not reciprocate, duplicate this experience, mirror this experience within myself. Where am I going wrong in my approach? Rather than say that it is difficult, it is tough, but Swamiji, these responsibilities, that responsibilities, then your attention is not on the self. So here understanding is being given to you that all activity is happening at the level of the physical, mental, vital, and mental and intellectual. And that is their nature. Physical body's nature is to multiply the cells, change, cells will be born, cells will die, body will move, body will rest. The activity at the level of vitality is the breath will go in, breath will come out. If it stops, you are dead. The activity at the level of mind is the thoughts are coming and the thoughts are going. You are not creating thoughts, they are happening. They are coming into existence because of on one hand the name and form outside, and on the other hand on the other end the vasanas, when they express as thoughts. What are vasanas? The memories, the subconscious memories. So both ways. In fact, if you really look at it, there is nothing called name and form, and there is nothing called vasanas also. This is only a working theory that is given as long as the individual is accepting himself to be the body, breath, mind, intellect. In other words, he is accepting himself to be an individuality. He is functioning through through ego. And for this ego, when this I, the ego, when it identifies with activity, then it is called karma. If it doesn't identify with activity, then activity will still go on. It is not going to stop. This unnecessary worry that what will happen if I get realized. If I first get realized, then worry about what is going to happen afterwards. Because it is not you who is doing anything. It is happening. Mind is thinking thoughts, intellect is having concepts, breath is coming in and going out by itself. Unnecessarily, we have accepted ourselves as the body, breath, mind, intellect. This shift has to happen. It will happen only by grace. But why but? Because we are individual at this moment. We must put efforts. to invoke the grace. We must become available to invoke the grace. Contemplate why it is not happening. Why is it becoming so difficult to me to drop this body identification where there is no body identification possible? It's an imagination. The thought I is in the mind, the thought of the body, the name and form of the body is in the mind, and this thought has identified with the form. It's all play, a projection of the mind, nothing to do with the self. So here he says that understand, recognize, contemplate, work it out, analyze within yourself, even while you are listening. That ears are listening, mind is understanding, you are watching. That is why you are able to reproduce. You are watching, you are illuminating that the words came from the apparatus in front of you to your ears, and some understanding, misunderstanding, no understanding, whatever is going on, you are illuminating it, you are knowing it, that this is going on, that I understood, so you nod. When you don't understand, then there is a questionable look in your eyes. Here I can't see as much. See? So you are separate to this whole equipment. Equipment comes and goes. So many examples he will give now. If it doesn't click after that, then what to say? Which means, if it is not clicking, there is only one reason. We are still identified with the body, and to weaken this connection with the body and body, breath, mind, intellect, then do some sadhana, do some exercise, do lom anulom, do nam jap to purify the mind. And when the mind gets purified, and when you hear these verses again, like a spark, the mind will catch fire. It will be in contemplation. I am like the top of the mountain, eternal, immovable indeed. What is this mountain? Here it says, Kuladri Vannischala eva sanstitaha. This mountain is the Meru mountain, the unmoving. Last week we concluded with one statement, if you remember, last week or the week before, I can't remember, that we are the center with no circumference. Meru mountain is that which never moves from its place. It is the center of universe. And that Meru mountain, I am, this self is the center. Now don't go start contemplating, oh my God, there are 7.5 billion people on the earth, there are 7.5 billion Merus, selves. No. There's only one. You work it out in yourself. Don't worry about the world. The journey is, and the conclusion is, initially it is within. So just like the axle of the cycle, the axle is unmoving and the whole wheel goes around the axle. Exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. We are the unmoving principle. The body, breath, mind, intellect, the gross body, subtle body, causal body, they are revolving continuously in the cycle. Waking, dream, deep sleep, waking, dream, deep sleep, waking, dream, deep sleep. Continuing in the 503rd verse, न मे प्रवृत्तिर्न च मे निवृत्तिः, न मे प्रवृत्तिर्न च मे निवृत्तिः, सदैकरूपस्य निरंशकस्य सदैकरूपस्य निरंशकस्य एकात्मको यो निविडो निरन्तरो एकात्मको यो निविडो निरन्तरो व्योमेव पूर्ण स कथं नु चेष्टते व्योमेव पूर्ण स कथं नु चेष्टते न मे प्रवृत्तिर्न च मे निवृत्तिः सदैकरूपस्य निरंशकस्य एकात्मको यो निविडो निरन्तरः व्योमेव पूर्णः स कथं नु चेष्टते. He says that ekatmako. Here let me read what is the literal translation and then we'll go into the explanation. I am homogeneous without any parts. I have neither involvement in anything nor withdrawal from anything. How can the one who is like a solidified space and complete be ever involved in efforts and activities? Now this thought is continuing from 501 verse from the about the body. So ekatmako yo nivido nirantaro eka atmakaha, I am one self, yaha nividaha nirantaraha, that I am the continuous homogeneous self. And who is this self? In which na me pravritti na cha me nivritti. I am that self in which there is no involvement, no withdrawal. Pravritti means involvement, nivritti means withdrawal. There is no going out, there is no birth, pravritti, there is no death, nivritti. There is no waking, pravritti, there is no sleep, nivritti. There is no appearance of thought, pravritti, there is no destruction of thought, nivritti. There is no going out of breath, nivritti, and there is no incoming breath, pravritti. Oh my God, this is too much. No, it is not too much. Observe. See, even right now, eyes are blinking. The moment eyes close, nivritti, all the forms, they vanish. The moment the blink ends, eyes open up, all the forms appear again. For whom are these? This is the phenomena. Are you making the eyes blink and unblink? It is happening. Are you making the breath go in and go out? No, it is happening. That is the nature of the eyes. That is the nature of the breath. That is the nature of the mind to think. That is the nature of the intellect to conceptualize. Choose concepts intelligently. And here are the concepts given which we should reprogram our intellect with. If I'm using right now, we are all using Zoom. Every time I come, it says update, because so many issues with the Zoom. And if I had not updated, we couldn't have used the app, the link. So I have to keep updating. How long we are going to? We were born without any attachment to body, breath, mind, intellect. Somewhere along the way, looking around all the people being brainwashed by the society, we got identified with the body. Now that you are okay, out of ignorance it happened, because you are not in the right environment. But now that you are, keep updating your app, the mental app, the intellectual app. And that's what, and this is how we have functioned from childhood till today. We are continuously updating our abilities, our concepts, our ideas, our future. We are correcting it, planning it. Go beyond the world for a change and update the app. Hey, in the end, what? Hey, everything that I have done till now has not given me the satisfaction. My mind, I must, no excuses, my intellect must become convinced, come what may, that self is what I essentially am, not this body, breath, mind, intellect, equipment. These are only equipments. They are functioning of their own accord. I'm not doing anything. Sun is not forcing the planets to move around itself. All planets are going around. So many asteroids are also there. Some of them get destroyed, some of them continue for hundreds and thousands of years, millions of years. You can't say, oh, sun is making them go round and round. No, sun is not making them go round and round. Sun is in its place. They all came into the orbit and now they are going round and round. Whether they are there or not there, it does not matter to the sun. It is in its place. Exactly the same way. This phenomena of body, breath, mind, intellect, it comes and it's coming and going and coming and going on a daily basis. Waking, dream, deep sleep, waking, dream, deep sleep, waking, dream, deep sleep. It started from birth. It will end also one day. But to unintelligently come to this conclusion that I am this phenomena called body and live as the body and continue to suffer on account of this body, breath, mind, intellect. You know who are these people who create suffering from others? They are called sadists, isn't it? Those who create suffering from themselves knowingly, what are they called? Masochist. We are all masochists, behaving like that. We understand, but we are not ready to give up we are not ready to be convinced. We always leave some window open to go back into the world of relationships and possessions. Now, most of those you are listening to me, most of you are in the Vanaprastha stage. Your children are grown up and you are more, if they are about 20, you are in Vanaprastha. If the children are about 20, your responsibilities are over. What is Vanaprastha stage? Listen to my Bhagavad lecture yesterday's class, last Bhagavad class. Previous to that was Brahmachari and Grahastha, and now Vanaprastha. What is the how should an anchorite or one who has done his duties in the Grahastha ashram, how he should live? Because purpose is not Grahastha ashram. Purpose is not going to Gurukul. Going to Gurukul is an activity which helps you program your mind for the long term called this life. And in between, first station came was Grahastha. Second station came was Vanaprastha. And this does not have to take too long. You can bypass also. We bypassed Grahastha and Vanaprastha. but it requires that commitment, it requires that clarity, it requires our unflinching commitment to the truth, because only by the grace of the truth, grace of the self, that you will find yourself continuously contemplating on the self, not by your own free will. It will not happen. And yet free will must be employed to put efforts only to, and when the grace flows, that effort becomes effortless. So here he says in the 503rd verse, न मे प्रवृत्ति च मे न च मे निवृत्ति सदैक रूपस्य निरंशकस्य, and सदा एक रूपस्य, I am always the same, I am of the same form. And what is my form? Satchidananda Swarup. See, the whole world, all the names and forms, all the objects of the world, they have existence. Anything that is changing has existence. But we are existence. We don't have existence. We are existence. And if we remove this identification, if you remove the name and form from the world, if you remove the name and form from the world is also nothing but existence. But as name and form, it has existence. And that is why Mahatmas, they see the whole world as existence, as self. There are no two existence, that I am existence and I see another existence. No, Purnamada Purnamidam. See? Just like we are not health, we have health. The object is not a quality, it has qualities. Similarly, the whole world of name and form has existence, but devoid of name and form, it is nothing but existence. This is about the world. And what about you? You don't have existence, because it is your experience that the changing. Now don't look at the world, look at yourself. Thoughts are changing, concepts are changing, breath is changing, body is changing. But do you feel that you are changing as consciousness? Whenever you say there is change, it is always with respect to something. So you have been the illuminator of the change. And only that thing can change which is unreal, which is only a projection, an illusion, a phenomena. You are not a phenomena. As the self, you are not phenomena. You are all that there is. Sadaika Rupaha. Eka Roop. Not Nana. Nana Roop. Aneka Roop. No. Eka Roop. Second, Nirangshakasya Ekatmako yo nivido nirantaro. And here the example given is Vyomeva Purna sa katham nu cheshtate. Example is Vyomeva Purnaha. The space is complete. Can space move from one place to another? Is it possible? When we destroy this house, does the space inside the house move to merge into the total space? When a person dies, the area that his body was occupying, does it get released to merge into the total space? No. The space is complete. It does not move anywhere. No action is possible in space, but it supports all activity of air, fire, water, earth. But itself, the space remains undisturbed. Similarly, this conscious space that I am, Chidakash, here what is the word they have used? No, they have not used the word. This Ekatmaka, so this space like consciousness that I am the changeless, I am the unchanging, I do not do, I am free of all activity. Activity is part and parcel of everything other than the self, is part and parcel of the changing, but I am the changeless. How can the one who is like a solidified space and complete be ever involved in efforts and activities? Cannot be possible. You know, when we were kids, we used to play, we used to make from the paper, garbage paper or newspaper, we used to make small rounds and then put them on the table, and we used to take the comb and we'll comb our hair again and again, and then we'll take it. Remember those days? Nowadays kids don't do that. And we used to take, oh, we used to be so thrilled. The comb is not doing anything, it's not even touching, but all those balls of paper, they start dancing merely by the charged charged comb. This supercharged self, merely by its presence, makes everything move. Recognize this about yourself rather than becoming the mover, becoming the seer, hearer, toucher, taster, thinker. No. You are not the doer, you are a karta. You are not the one who is performing the karma. Karya, activity is going on. Let it go on. You disengage. Oh, but I can't, I don't understand. How do I disengage from thinking? I can't stop it. It's so, I'm this, the I that I am and the thoughts and convictions that are there in the mind, they are so, entrenched with each other that I am unable to separate it. Okay, valid question. Now, if you cannot stop thinking, then start thinking about something higher, so that the thought flow in your mind automatically becomes slowed down. Then automatically you will become available to yourself, the unchanging principle. You need a glimpse, and you get a glimpse every night. You go to sleep, you get a glimpse. That bliss is possible only when there are no thoughts possible in the mind. Then where is the world? Where are the relationships? Where are the possessions? Where is the body? Where is the heartbeat? Where is the disease? Where is the corona? Where is the aspirations, ambitions, investments? Where is it? Everything is zero when you go to sleep, isn't it? That time you are not worried if there is an earthquake or a pandemic has started or the world has completely So many people who were in America when the tornadoes came, they were sleeping. They didn't know. Did they know that tomorrow we are not going to be alive? Unnecessarily we are so worried, trying to secure our existence. This is where we are making the mistake. This security that we are seeking is only because of body identification. And growth happens only in insecurity, not in security. The more you become insecure, the more you become detached from everything, then see, more faith will increase. So here the first, this 503rd verse was talking about karma, the coming and going of the body, etc. Now it comes to punya, pap and punya, subtle body. Gross body was the first verse. 3 verses were given on gross body because majority people are stuck there only. Forget about subtle body. So next verse. Punyani papani nirindriyasya punyani papani nirindriyasya nischetaso nirvikruter nirakrute nischetaso nirvikrute nirakrute कुतो ममाखण्ड सुखानुभूते कुतो ममाखण्ड सुखानुभूते ब्रूते यनन्वागतमित्यपि श्रुतिः ब्रूते यनन्वागतमित्यपि श्रुतिः पुण्यानि पापानि निरेन्द्रियस्य निश्चेतसो निर्विकृतेर्निराकृतेः कुतो ममाखण्ड सुखानुभूतेः ब्रूते यनन्वागतमित्यपि श्रुतिः. For me, who is without senses, mind and their modifications, a formless, infinite, blissful self, how can there be sin or merit? So says the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. See? So if we have understood verse number 501, 502 and 503, if we had taken it subjectively and we have understood that we are not the body, we are not the mind, we are not the intellect, then or their modifications, without me who is without senses, mind and their modifications, निश्चेतसो निर्विकृतेर निराकृतेः. Then question, punyani papani nirendriyasya. Then how can there be papa and punya for the one who is without nirindriya, nischeta, nirvikara and nirakriteः? Nirindriyasya, who is without senses and their modifications, who is without the mind and its modifications, nirvikrute is modifications, and nirakrute, who is not the doer. Then how can this then he says, let me conclude here, kuto mama khanda sukhanubhute. Then where are these pap and punya for me who is akhanda sukha anubhuti bhute hai? For me who is homogeneous mass of happiness, content, direct experience of happiness and contentment. See? So where is the activity going on? At the gross and subtle. Physical body, vital body, mental body and intellectual body. Here activity is going on. And if we have understood the 3 verses before, I am not. I am not these three bodies or five koshas. I am not the body. I am the one in whose presence these five are functioning. They come of their own accord and they go away by their own accord. Every morning they come up, every night they go away. So, how can the pap? So, for whom is the pap? For who is the pap? Do the five equipments, or the not five equipments, do the five sheaths, do they accrue any sin or merit? I am asking. Do they accrue any sin or merit? Answer.
No, Jada.
They are jada. No. Second no. Anyone says yes? You say yes. That the five sheaths, they accrue sin and merit.
Swamiji, I feel the mind is thinking as sin and accumulates the misery that comes with it.
No, mind only thinks. It allows the thought to come, it allows the thoughts to go. It is the base on which the thoughts come and go. Mind doesn't collect any sin or merit. It is only allowing the thoughts to come and go. Intellect is also only allowing concepts which are nothing but thoughts. So we take mind and intellect as one only, thoughts. Breath also, there is no.
Come from them.
That is the question. That's why I asked the question before I answer it. Say again.
Deho na janati sato na janma.
Yes.
Yes.
So for whom is the sin and merit then? For the self, we have already seen in the 3 verses, it is nothing to do with these 5, they are coming and going. As regards do the eyes become, they experience the sin if they see a murder or something ugly, someone doing corruption, do they accrue the sin? If your ears are hearing something bad, do they accrue the sin of hearing bad? Exactly the same way, is the mind accruing the sin or merit of having good thoughts or bad thoughts? No. Thought is a thought. Thought is a thought. Then who is this fellow? We usually say it is the ego. That is our normal, the personality, the one who is owning all the thoughts. For him is the sin and merit. But that fellow himself, it does not exist. Because either that fellow is there or you are there, the illuminator of everything that is going on. So which one are you? We are taking it subjectively right now. Which one are you? Are you the ego self? Or are you the one, in the light of the previous 3 verses, the one who is disentangled, has understood that the body I am not, the name and form I am not, I am the Akhanda,
The second one.
Jyoti. True. So if that is the
Does
one,
that mean
then there is no place for the ego, because this fellow, when he is not being the self, at the moment he is not being the self, he gets attached to whatever is there at the equipment level. See? So now we are just undoing everything. Sin and merit is not for the equipment because they are inert. Inert things, body, breath, mind, intellect are inert. So they cannot accrue sin. Self, which is complete, it cannot accrue sin. And if we are talking about the entity which identifies with the inert equipment or the modifications of body, breath, mind, intellect, and that entity we call it as ego, which is existing in its own absence. So how can something that is not there have sin or merit? Bloody, we are living in a fool's world. Get out of it.
So does this mean it's all imagination?
Absolutely,
Punya.
absolutely. It is only a working theory. So here it is telling you. Remember, in the context that we are telling you right now,
After realization.
this is the student has come to establish in the self now. He has come to establish in the self, and having from that point now again, suppose he is in samadhi or in and has the glimpse or is established, whatever, the mind still functions. No, we see that in the masters also. See, someone the Shankar Maharaj said he was going, and suddenly he told one person who was going with him, he says, "Come with me." He went, and they went to the railway station. He said, "Go buy one tulsi mala and one Firangi pani mala," and he brought it. And at that time, J. Krishna Murti was traveling from Chennai to somewhere, Delhi, on the way, and the train had stopped for 5 minutes. And he said to this man who was with him, "Go inside the train, this particular seat, this person is sitting, and but how will I recognize?" He says, "You don't worry, you will recognize. That's not your job. You go and put the mala around his neck." And he went, he didn't know which one, and suddenly his eyes locked with this J. Krishnamurti. And he put the tulsi mala, the Firangi pani mala around his neck and gave the tulsi mala to him. And now he said, "Oh, who gave it? Who is this?" He did not answer. He namaskar karke nikal gaya wahan se. Now J. Krishnamurti, 5 minutes only the break, but he wanted to know who is this fellow who has given me this mala. So he came to the main door, came out, and went to the looked around here. Who is this? Who is this? And suddenly his eyes locked with Shankar Maharaj. Came down the steps of the train, stood in front of him. Both of them smiled at each other for 2-3 minutes. No word was spoken. For 2-3 minutes, only a slight smile on both of their lips. And then he went back to the train. And Shankar Maharaj, along with this fellow who was watching this whole drama unfold in front of him, he went, and as they were walking towards the home, he said, "Swamiji, Maharaj, what happened? How did you know that he was going to be there?" He says, "Forget about that, yaar. You will not understand." "No, but when you met him, how come there was only silence? Did you not feel like talking to him?" He says, you know what his answer was? When two mirrors come in front of each other, what will be reflected?
Self.
What?
Self.
Think before you answer. Think before you answer. When two mirrors are put in front of each other,
Nothing.
correct. But mirror is inert. When two minds are coming in front of each other, where there is no individuality only. There is nothing to reflect because there is no individuality. Shankar Maharaj has also realized the self. J. Krishnamurti has also realized the self. So nothing to speak. No projection. Where there is no projection, that is samadhi. When your mind comes face to face with the self. When will it come face to face? It is always. But right now it is getting hijacked by everything else. By continuous contemplation of the self, when it eventually comes face to face, and even the last thought which was keeping it away from it was objectifying the self, that also drops away. That's when samadhi happens. I'm not talking about sahaj avastha. I'm just talking about samadhi here. That's when samadhi happens.
Alert from Malwarebytes agent. Version update available.
That's when samadhi happens. Nothing to project. This student, he has done all this because this was the way Adi Shankaracharya guided this fellow's mind or all the people's mind. But this fellow got it. Not everyone gets it. Even though everyone is there. It is not different students' speech that is given here. One fellow's. कुतो ममाखंड सुखानुभूते ब्रूते ह्यनन्वा गतमित्यपि श्रुतिः. So here in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in the it is told that untouched by merit, untouched by sin, he is then in deep sleep, gone beyond all mental agitations. So here we are not talking even about this in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in the fourth chapter, fourth section, third chapter, 22nd verse. We are not talking about even the self. Even in deep sleep, where are your sins and merits? All become zero. So don't live too much at this level of at Papa Punya level, or past and future level, or birth and death level. I say, make a commitment to ourselves that day in and day out we will be in Swadhyaya, we'll do our Abhyas, we'll do our pranayam little bit, we'll do study some verses of the scripture or listen to some satsang on a daily basis, and do some japa and meditation every day. Now is the best opportunity. Because if we are finding it difficult to understand and be in the position where this seeker has reached, the only reason that difficulty is appearing is because our mind is not purified. And last week I told you what is the purification. The direction of the thoughts have to change, the quality of the thoughts have to change, and the number of thought eruptions in the mind has to reduce. This is the purity. So from outward approach to inward, introverted. Quality only, forget about it, will automatically happen. If not, that is why probably Bhagavan gave the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Daivik Sampati and Asurik Sampati. Why the mind? I am understanding, Arjuna is saying, but my mind is not steady. Why it is not steady? Because sometimes it goes into the negative thinking, sometimes it goes into positive thinking. So we have to transcend that, both good and bad. Sin and merit, both we have to transcend. If we think about the wrongs that we have done in our life, then guilt will be there. Then your self-confidence and self-respect, self-worth, that will be sucked away. And if you think about all the merit that I have done this, I have done that, I have given donation here, I have helped this person, I have helped that person, then ego will increase. See? Get out of both. Don't be attached. Don't own it. And once you stop owning it, automatically your language, same thing will be expressed. But there will be no ownership. There will be no ownership. That it happened by the grace of God, it happened. So again, for me who is without senses, mind and their modifications, a formless, infinite, blissful self, how can there be sin and merit? Therefore understand, who are you? You are the one who has never committed any sin, nor has any committed any merit, accrued any merit. Then who are you? I am the blissful self. Live like that. Live like that. You know, someone was talking to their daughter, and till now, every morning they used to get up and they used to say, oh, you know, what is the update on Corona? What is the update of Corona? How many people died there? How many countries it has spread? Probably all of you were also going through that. Every morning, let's see the update. What is lockdown? As the stages were increasing, and now till that happened, you know. And then the lockdown happened. And after lockdown, what happened? Then this lady, now because everyone is at home, she has to make breakfast, lunch, dinner. Now her thought went away from Corona. Every morning she got up, she said, what's for breakfast? What's for breakfast? What's for breakfast? Because before everyone was making their own. But now they are all at home. So it was a good. Before she was thinking of Corona, now she is thinking of breakfast. The moment breakfast finishes, what every day to come up with a new dish when you are not used to it. Similarly, contemplate on the self rather than the sins and merit. ये 7 जन्मों का फेरा, that we are not, the wife will continue to be, you will be, the couple will continue for 7 lives. All this is just to make your mind feel good. That's all. The ego to feel good, or the individuality to feel good. I can't say the word individuality, ego. For those जिनकी पूंछ अभी तक टेढ़ी है, that dogs whose tail is still crooked, for him all these concepts are given so that he becomes straightened up. And that crooked tail is our ego. Nobody else. And there is nothing called ego. If you think about the body, yes, the ego will, it is automatic, natural, it will come about. If you give attention to the to anything other than the self, if you give attention to, ego will come up. And your experience is that when you go to sleep, you do not give attention to anything else. You are single-pointedly focused and eventually surrender to sleep. And at that time, I'm repeating again, you are neither the body, you are neither the mind, breath, whether you are breathing or not, has it stopped? No concerns. No concerns of past or future, no concern of disease or health, no concern of a broken leg or a broken hand, no concern of virus, no concern of the for that lady who got sucked up into the tornado, no idea of tornado coming also. When was the birth? When was the death? Nothing, nothing, nothing. Where are your investments? Nothing. You are oblivious. You are in the lap of ignorance. Unconcerned. Because all these things are related to your body, breath, mind, intellect. See? And naturally, let's go one step further. Sanchit, Agami and Prarabdha Karma also has got no meaning there. That
So we
also,
can clear that slate and not think about it for the future.
you can't clean the slate
So where does it go?
because you did not create it. It is a phenomena.
Okay.
If at all you want to, if you want to, as a seeker, you want to say that you want to clean the slate, understand that the only way to clean the slate is that slate of the mind must contemplate on the source. And in that contemplation, the slate will get cleaned up.
Okay.
But you try to clean the slate, you will have more dirt on the slate. You will have more thoughts. There will be more frustration. There will be agitation. Why this is going on? I am giving so much. I am trying to let go, and it is not, and things are only increasing. So the mind has to become subjective. When we did the Sri Ramana Gita there, the mind is contemplating on who am I? What is the source of the I? I thought initially, isn't it? It is not thinking about the idam. What else? Everything. The pancha koshas are idam. It is not thinking about that. It is thinking about what is the source of I? Who is this I? Where is this I? Whence is this I? Is it there or not there? It's inquiring into its nature, its true nature. Only then the slate gets cleaned up. You can bring about temporary cleaning through pranayam, through japa sadhana, etc. You can do it. And every night, whether you do any sadhana or not, every night you go to sleep, the slate gets cleaned. But not completely clean. It's a temporary cleaning. Next morning again it gets filled up. You know, like when we go to the movie theater, the screen is there. It gets a respite between two shows, 10-15 minutes. And after the 3, 4, 5, 6 shows during the day, then from 12 o'clock till morning 9 o'clock, it gets a big long rest. Nothing is projected on the screen. That is like deep sleep. So here point is not about deep sleep, point is not about the point that we are trying to make is stop living and accepting yourself as a person at the equipment level. Accept yourself, your identity is only one, that you are the essential self, the self-illumined reality, the permanent reality, the unchanging self, and in that self there is no body, there is no breath, there is no mind, there is no intellect, there is no gross subtle causal, there is no papa punya, there is no hunger thirst, there is no heat and cold, there is no likes or dislikes. All these are in the equipment. All these are in the equipment. Sukha dukkha also is in the equipment only. It's not for the self. Well, as I said before, it's not even for the equipment. is for nobody. It's like an apparition which comes about, which is called ego, and says, "Oh, this is I am experiencing," and before it knows, it has vanished. Before the moment night comes, that fellow who was saying, "I have done this wrong, I have done this right," all that goes away. Here again, another example is taken by the student who is established in the self now. Chhayaya sprushtamushnam va, chhayaya sprushtamushnam va, sheetam va sushtu dushtu va, sheetam va sushtu dushtu va, na sprushatyeva yat kinchit, na sprushatyeva yat kinchit, purusham tadvilakshanam, purusham tadvilakshanam, chhayaya sprushtamushnam va, sheetam va sushtu dushtu va, na sprushatyeva yat kinchit, purusham tadvilakshanam. The shadow of the person having fallen on anything such as hot or cold, good or bad, does not have any influence on the person whose shadow it is. Now, example is taken. Today I was cycling and it was a beautiful sunlit day and the shadow was following me. And as I was cycling, there was a bump. The shadow also went up and down. Then there was a pool of water. The shadow went through the water. Then there was some poo done by the ducks and the dogs. It went over that also. So did it get dirty when it went over the poo? Did it get wet when it went over the water? Did it feel the bump when it went over the bump? Did it? No. So whether that shadow falls on a barbecue grill, it does not get burnt. It goes on a block of ice, it does not get frozen. It goes into water, it does not get wet. See, this is the second point. When I told you in the previous verse that Pap and Punya are not for the equipment also, this is what is being told in this verse. Good or bad does not have any influence on the person whose shadow it is. See? So what is our shadow? So just like when I am the person as the body, as the equipment. When I am walking, I carry the shadow with me. I pull it wherever I go, it has to follow. But it does not get affected by anything. And neither I get, because I am not going in the water. The shadow is going into the water. The shadow is falling on the ice. I am not falling on the ice. Exactly the same way. I am the self, and the shadow of the self is these five equipments. They also do not go through any good and bad experiences. Note, no good and bad experiences. Good and bad experiences are for the experiencer. If you identify with the equipment, you become the erring personality called the experiencer. There is something good or bad to see if you become the seer. There is good and bad to hear if you become the hearer. There is something good and bad to experience if you become the experiencer. So here is the stage of the Mahatmas. They are not identified with the equipment. They are established in the self. So the personality, the erring personality, it does not precipitate. See? So no sin and merit for them. Akkalkot Maharaj Ji used to abuse the hell out of devotees. On top of when I went in 98 and then 2002 or 3, even that time this Narayana Swami was there on top of Arunachala. He used to throw stones. Remember, one or two classes before I mentioned about him, or in the retreat I mentioned. He used to throw stones. He had a collection of his disciples used to keep stones for him. Only between 10 and 11 you could have his darshan. And he will not speak. It's his choice whether to speak or not. But if you come before 10 or after 11, approximately, you will get a stone. And he doesn't care whether you get hurt or not. He is not going to come for your rescue. But does that mean that he was heartless? Akkalkot Maharaj used to, people knew, even Shankar Maharaj, he used to drink, he used to smoke. And if people asked for tirth, he used to give the whatever he is drinking, the alcohol, he used to give that as tirth. And when they used to drink the tirth, it used to be Panchamrit. Oh, if he used to drink, I will also start drinking. But can you make the alcohol into Panchamrit? If you can't do that, then don't drink. See? So these masters, they are so at one ment with their essential nature that from there nothing else exists for them. Ekameva dvitiya nanasti kinchana. See, there's nothing else apart from the self for them. And then whatever you see is only the leela that is going on. न साक्षिणं साक्ष्यधर्माः न साक्षिणं साक्ष्यधर्माः संस्पृशन्ति विलक्षणं अविकारमुदासीनं गृहधर्मा प्रदीपवत् न साक्षिणं साक्ष्यधर्माः संस्पृशन्ति विलक्षणम् अविकारमुदासीनं गृहधर्मा प्रदीपवत्. The lamp illuminating the house does not get influenced by the quality of the house, clean, dirty, etc. So is the case of the witness who does not get contaminated by that which is illumined by it. Again, the same point they are making, that pap and punya, they are not, with that the masters have got nothing to do with. So this 505th verse was about showing that the equipment has got nothing to do with the pap and punya, with the sin and merit. And now it is told even the person, because the master, when he is established in the self, he is not affected by the for him he cannot accrue the good and bad. How? Just as a lamp illuminating a room, whether it is a toilet, whether it is a temple, the light does not become holy because it is illuminating the deity, and it does not become a asura to be abhorred because it is illuminating the toilet. Think. The problem comes where identification comes. If every bulb had this possibility of accruing sin and merit, and it came to know that you are going to go and put him in the toilet, he would have screamed in your hands, hey, 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 Harry Potter style. Don't take me there, don't take me there, I will not do this, I will not do that. But no, it does not matter to light. Even if you accept yourself as Jiva, even if you accept yourself not as ego, but as Jiva, Jiva is a principle. Just as light is a principle. Light is not one per bulb. It seems that way, because it is expressing through this bulb and filament. But the light itself, just if there are two lights here, if one fuses, the light continues. In other bulbs, as light. So light is a phenomena. Jiva is a phenomena. Even if you come to this phenomenal aspect and come to understand yourself that I am that continuous phenomena, whether this body comes or goes, how does it matter? Then also no sin and merit. See? Then why did the scriptures write all this to confuse us? We are with the crooked tail, that is why. बातों के भूत लातों से मानते हैं. Those who cannot be educated through words, they need stronger treatment. So for them, sin, merit, prarabdha, sanchit, all this is given, so that you start taking responsibility for your own condition at this very moment. Not blame anyone. You have to accept that what you are today is because of your own choices. And if that clicks, then there will be possibility. What do I want to be tomorrow? No, I don't want to continue as this man. I want to be the self. Then start thinking about self right now. Then tomorrow also you will be self. Plant the seed now. Your today's reality is because of the seeds that you planted yesterday or in last life or in the past. So what you plant today will make sure what you will get tomorrow. This is from Jiva's point of view, individual point of view. So these, because we find to detach so difficult. So here, who are we essentially? We know the body has changed, we know the breath is changing, we know the thoughts are changing, we know the emotions are changing, we know the concepts are changing, we know there are good thoughts and bad thoughts in our mind, sometimes murder thoughts, self-inflicting thoughts, we know all of them, that's why we are able to reproduce them. So who are we? If we know all of them, we must be separate from all of this, therefore we know them. The knower has to be separate from the known. Only then you can come to know about it. Think. So here the example is given. The lamp illuminating the house does not get influenced by the quality of the house, whether it is dusty, whether it is clean, spick and span, whether it is beautiful, whether it is ugly, whether it is painted or not painted. The lamp does not care. Wherever it is, that place gets illumined. That place gets illumined. Exactly the same way, so is the case of the witness, so is your case. You are that eternal witness in whose light, example will be taken again, you are that eternal witness in whose light all these modifications of the various equipments are getting illumined. Accept yourself as that you are the light. Don't start thinking, I want to become one with the light of the self, I want to become one with the self. No becoming. You are. You have always been. There will never be a time that you will not be. You always are the self. You cannot come down from that pedestal. So is the case of the witness who does not get contaminated by that which is illumined by it. Now another example is taken of the sun. Just like sun does not get contaminated by the what is getting illumined by it on the earth or anywhere else. रवेर्यथा कर्मणि साक्षि भावो रवेर्यथा कर्मणि साक्षि भावो वह्नेर्यथा वायसि दाहकत्वम् वह्नेर्यथा वायसि दाहकत्वम् रज्जोर्यथारोपितवस्तु सङ्गः रज्जोर्यथारोपितवस्तु सङ्गः तथैव कूटस्थचिदात्मनो मे तथैव कूटस्थविचिदात्मनो मे रवेर्यथा कर्मणि साक्षि भावो वह्नेर्यथा वायसि दाहकत्वम् रज्जोर्यथारोपितवस्तु सङ्गः तथैव कूटस्थचिदात्मनो मे. As the sun is merely a witness to the activities of the people, just as the fire burns everything that is put in it or whatever it comes in touch with, as the relationship between the snake and the rope, so is my being witness, who is the immutable conscious self with reference to the objects of association. In other words, it is a natural state of being witness and not becoming witness through efforts. Then what are we putting efforts for? I am asking the question. Why are we putting efforts then? Only for one purpose. Nobody is answering. Don't want to be caught on the wrong foot, eh? In front of everyone. No.
To know the self.
Passing time, Swami.
Yes, good.
Know the self.
No. In this context of this verse, I know all these beautiful answers that you are giving are correct. So here when it says that it is a natural state of being witness and not becoming witness through efforts. So if you cannot become a witness through efforts, then why we must put efforts? I answered in the previous verse, 2 verses before. To purify the mind.
Forgetfulness.
To purify the mind. Where mind gets purified, witnessing automatically ensues. Where the distraction of the world reduces to a certain extent, automatically you fall into sleep. Isn't it? So all efforts are not to realize. All efforts are only to reduce the impact of modifications in the mind. Self is always realized. Understand this. You cannot realize the self. Self is always complete. Self has never become an individual. Self has never become the ego. That is your problem, not the self's problem. The self has, even today, at this moment, the self is illuminating the waking, dream and deep sleep, isn't it? That is your experience, yesterday also, today also. You will say yes. Then where? It was not. It has not become the waker and the dreamer and the sleeper. Then what are waker, dreamer and sleeper? Phenomena. Not Philomena. Otherwise you look for a girlfriend then. It's a phenomena. See? So in the 507th verse, he says that as the sun is merely a witness to the activities of the people, so what actions people are doing, some are praying, some are meditating, some are in samadhi, some are murdering, some are terrorists, war is going on, somewhere there is health, somewhere there is disease. Sun is not affected, it is just illuminating everything that comes in its way, with no likes and dislikes, with no preferences, with no favoritism. Exactly the same way, we are also that eternal witness, naturally expressing as the eternal witness all the time. When I use these words, that do you know that the whatever we are saying you are understanding? Yes, which means you are the witness and you are illuminating that understanding taking place. You are illuminating the thoughts coming and going. You are illuminating the breath coming and going. You are illuminating the waker, dreamer, sleeper coming and going every day. This is your direct experience. This is your natural state. But the moment we wake up or we are in the dream, something hijacks this natural state. Well, not the natural state, but I take that sentence back. Nobody can hijack the self. Self is always the self. Just as fire burns everything, just as everything that is put into the fire, it consumes. Everything that is put into the fire, it consumes. Exactly the same way, when we are in this, as the eternal witness, anything that comes in its presence, it consumes, it burns it away. Because see, whatever comes in front of the eternal witness, here the example of fire is taken, it is like fire, it consumes everything. Meaning what? It does not get attached. So if you are sitting in meditation and some other thoughts are coming and disturbing, if you remain the witness, they come, they stay, they knock. Anyone there? Anyone there? No response. They die. Then the next thought comes, knocks. Please accept me. I am so sad. I am so depressed. I have got a crisis going on. This, that. Poor me. No, don't give attention. It will also go away. The moment you give attention, then you are no longer the witness. Now you have become the thinker. Before, thoughts were coming and going, there was no thinker. The moment you give it attention and value, you have become the thinker. Personality has precipitated. someone is owning those thoughts. So the whole name of the game is to, we can't disown it where we are at this moment, but we can own something greater, something more fantastic, something more divine, something which is closer than the closest, which is the self. And we keep focusing on that, and in that process, everything else automatically gets disowned. We become disowned, in other words, we become indifferent to it. And that is the word here used was udasin. Somewhere it was used, no? Here only, in this, in the 506th verse it was told, udasina. We become indifferent. Because udasin, ut asin. See? And the third example taken as the relationship between the snake and the rope. From the rope point of view, there is no snake ever. From the rope point of view, there was never a snake. For a snake to appear, rope has to be there. If there is no rope, snake cannot appear. This is a Vedantic example given of Shankaracharya of projection. So what is that on which the projection of changing is taking place? What is that? What is that on which the projection of changing? Let's, in one nutshell, your experience of the world, the waking, dream and deep sleep. Where is this? What is that substratum? What is that unchanging principle on which the projection of waking, dream and deep sleep is going on? That is the self. See? We are also going through waking, dream and deep sleep. A Mahatma is also going through waking, dream and deep sleep. It's already 9 o'clock. We'll conclude quickly. So we are also going through waking, dream and deep sleep. Mahatma is also going through waking, dream and deep sleep. But you call him a Mahatma and you don't call me a Mahatma. Why? हाँ? मैंने क्या गलती की है? मैंने क्या? Why he is becoming so important? Why you are falling at his feet, not at my feet? Why is giving so? Why people are singing his arti and doing, writing books about him, and nobody even looks at me also. But he is also going through the same. I am also going through the same. But he is unattached. He is the witness to those three states as the self. We are attached to these three states. We are still in the phenomena, accepting ourselves, defining ourselves, identifying ourselves with the phenomena. And his take is everything is the self. ठीक है, let the body, if something has to be spoken, so yeah, there is body, there is, but when he is using the word body, when he is using the word mind, when he is using the word intellect, when he is using the word scriptures, when he is using the word this creation or universe, he is very inside himself. He is very clear. Everything is the self alone. I alone am. He is only reflecting with the question that you have come to him. He is trying to, his mind is giving you an answer. so is my being witness, who is immutable conscious self, with reference to the objects of association. What were the objects of association? All name and form. In other words, it is a natural state of being witness and not becoming witness through efforts. So never force yourself to detach. Those people, some of you have asked me, some question also came during the retreat. Now I want to let go. No, you cannot let go of anything. Whenever this question comes to your mind, I must drop this or I must let go of this, the example must come. Urvarukameva bandhanat, mrityor mukshiyam amritat. You have to ripen in your contemplation to such an extent that the world leaves you. The modifications leave you. The importance of the equipment, mana buddhi, the physical, the vital, the mental and the intellectual, or the gross, subtle and causal, they leave you in toto. Your content, you concentrate and contemplate on your being. Accept yourself as that, without any ifs and buts. And if there are ifs and buts, read these verses again and again. Somewhere it will click. It's only a click. A person who is not hungry, you cannot force him to eat. Even the best food is there, but you cannot make him eat. A person who is faking sleep, you cannot wake him up. Exactly the same way. If we are full with the nutrition of the world, with the nutrition of name and form, and if we give the nutrition of the self, and you are enjoying the gulab jamun, I enjoyed, Usha, here gulab jamun, I ate the last one today. See, if you are enjoying the gulab jamun and someone is sending ras malai and someone is sending something, where is the contemplation of the self? We are lost in this only. We'll think about it more in our next class. We'll start from 508th verse in our next class. Remind. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Let's sit for a minute quietly.